the next question is here. It's on interference of waves. Two coherent point sources S1 and S2 emitting waves of wavelength lambda in same phase are placed at separation of 3 lambda as shown in the figure. A detector is moved along positive x direction starting from origin. The x coordinate at which the detector registered second minima is given as x2 equal to k lambda. Find the value of k. Well, so detector is starting from the origin and it is moving along the x axis. We can see that at point O itself, just below point O, or at point O, we can take that the path difference, right, of waves coming from S2 and S1 is 3 lambda. And as the particle is moving along x axis, that path difference is going to decrease, okay, continuously. So, with that, let us start our solution. And the question is asking us about the second minima that we are going to encounter. Well, the first minima will happen when the path difference reduces from 3 lambda to 2.5 lambda, and the second minima will happen when the path difference reduces from 2.5 lambda to 1.5 lambda. So, that is the key concept here. Suppose that happens at this point and this distance is x. So, as I said, the path difference is 1.5 lambda for the second minima. So, 1.5 lambda is equal to, if I call this point as P, it is S2P minus S1P, all right. And we can now use the Pythagoras theorem. S2P is in fact square root of 3 lambda whole square plus x square. So, that becomes 9 lambda square plus x square, and S1P is simply x. And let us put it as 3 by 2 lambda, 1.5 lambda. We can always put it as 3 by 2 lambda. It is a matter of solving for x. So, which is quite easy. We can make our task a bit easier by shifting x on this side and squaring both sides. That will give us 9 lambda square by 4 plus x square plus 2 times 3 lambda by 2 into x is equal to 9 lambda square plus x square. And very simple equation to solve now. We can cancel x square on both sides. What we are finding is that 3x, 3 times x is becoming equal to 9 lambda minus 9 lambda by 4, or 9 lambda into 1 minus 1 by 4, which is 9 lambda into 3 by 4. And that gives us the value of x very easily. We find the value of x is coming out as 9 lambda by 4, all right. And what are we supposed to find here? We have to find the value of k. So, k is coming as 9 by 4, or the value of k in 2 places after decimal becomes 2.25. So, this question is done. Let us slide it back, and it is time now to go to the final segment of this discussion of solutions. Well, it is now time to discuss the last few questions of this test. We are into question 17 now, and it says a uniform disk of radius r is spinned about its axis to angular velocity omega and then carefully placed flat on a rough horizontal surface. Well, this word flat is very, very important because it gives a different, altogether different meaning to the question. The coefficient of friction is 0.25 if the time taken by the disk to stop is given by n times omega r by g. We have to find the value of n. So, as I said, the fact that the disk is placed flat on the rough horizontal surface has a different meaning altogether, and what this means is that in order to calculate torque produced by friction, the retarding torque, we have to be a bit careful. We have to take this point into account. How to find that torque? Well, first of all, let's say that this is the disc. Assume that this is the disc, and we consider a small element, a circular element of this disc. The radius of that circular element we can take as small r, and the radial width as dr. So, this is the element we are talking about. Remember, this is lying flat. Its radius is small r, width is dr, as I said, and width of the entire radius of the entire in fact disc is capital R. So, this is lying flat, and we will assume, we will of course make an assumption that the normal reaction which is there between the disc and the surface, it is distributed uniformly. That means normal reaction per unit area we are going to take as uniform or constant. So, on this element, what is the normal reaction? Well, on this element normal reaction will be total normal reaction, which is capital Mg, multiplied by area of this element, which is 2 pi r dr, and divided by the total area of the disc. Alright. So, if I call it dN, okay, because it is going to be a small fraction of the total normal reaction, that is equal to Mg, which is the total normal reaction, divided by total area, which is pi r square, and area of the element is 2 pi r dr. I hope this point is clear. Alright. And because of this normal reaction, the friction is going to act, and the friction is also going to produce a retarding torque. So, what is that torque? Let us first find the torque on that element alone, and that is, of course, it is retarding in nature, because it is going to oppose the spin of the disc. Well, this can be given as mu times dN, and the momentum is small r in this case. Alright. So, this becomes mu, we can put the value of dN that we have put here, we can cancel this pi, this becomes 2 mg into r dr, but there is one more r, so it becomes r square dr, and then we need to divide it by r square. And then to find the total torque, we need to integrate this expression, so that we have torque for each and every element. By integrating it with proper limits, the limits will go from small r equal to 0 to capital R. So, that gives us the net retarding torque. Let us find it by carrying out the integration. This is 2 mu capital Mg by r square, and if we integrate with proper limits, r square dr will give us capital RQ divided by 3, isn't it? So, let us put it capital RQ divided by 3. We already have the expression for this torque, and that is equal to 2 mu mg r divided by 3. This torque is going to produce angular retardation, and the magnitude of that angular retardation alpha is equal to torque divided by moment of inertia. The moment of inertia in this case is mr square by 2. So, let us put it now, 2 mu by 3 mg r divided by mr square divided by 2. So, let us cancel what can be cancelled. So, this m goes off, 1 r goes off, and we find that alpha is coming as 4 mu g divided by 3 r. Now, it is very easy, because the time taken, we can apply kinematics of circular motion. Alpha is going to remain constant with time as long as it is there. So, 0 is equal to initial angular velocity minus alpha into t. That gives us the time t is equal to omega divided by alpha. That means it is omega divided by 4 mu g, and then here we have 3r, and remember the value of mu is given as 0.25. So, ultimately we are getting time as 3 omega r by g. So, this question is done, and if we compare our expression with this, we are finding that the value of n is coming as a 3, and if we consider 2 places after decimal, the value of n is 3.00. So, that is our answer as far as this question is concerned, and it is now time to go to the last question of this paper, and it is based on screw gauge. The question says a screw gauge with pitch 0.5 millimeter and circular scale with 50 divisions is used to measure the thickness of a thin sheet. Before inserting the sheet, when two jaws of screw gauge are brought in contact, the 45th division coincides with the main scale line and the zero of main scale is barely visible. That is very important. What it conveys is that the zero error is there and it is negative. Okay? Well, let us go ahead and see the question further. What does it say further? If the main scale reading is 0.5 millimeter and the 35th division coincides with the main scale line, then the thickness of the sheet is x by 10 millimeter and we are supposed to find the value of x. Let us get cracking, and as I told you, first of all, zero error is negative. What about the least count? Let us find the least count. Least count is pitch divided by the total number of divisions on the circular scale. So, the pitch is 0.5 millimeter and there are 50 divisions on the circular scale. So, that means it is 0.5 millimeter and the number of divisions on the circular scale. So, this is 0.5 millimeter by 50, that makes it equal to 0.01 millimeter, right? That is the least count. 0.5 by 50 or 5 by 500, 0.01 millimeter is the least count. What about the zero error? Zero error is equal to 5 divisions of the circular scale, and those 5 divisions of the circular scale will amount to 5 into 0.01 millimeter, but as I said, the zero error is negative. So, E is minus 5 multiplied by the least count or 0.01. So, that means it is minus 0.05 millimeter. That is as far as the zero error is concerned, and let us now look at the measurement. So, what we have is the main scale reading in this case is 0.5 millimeter and 35th division coincides with the main scale line. So, what is the total thickness? Well, the total thickness becomes T as per measurement. It will turn out to be the main scale reading, which is 0.5 millimeter, plus the 35th division coincides. Okay. So, 35th division means 35 into least count, which is in this case 0.01 millimeter, and then you have to correct for the zero error. That correction will be plus E. So, in fact, I would say plus 0.05. So, plus 0.05 millimeter, right. So, this is the thickness having taken into account the zero error also. Let us now just evaluate this. How much is this coming to? Well, this is 0.35, 0.5 plus 0.35 plus 0.05, and this is then coming out as 0.90 millimeter, right. So, this is the value thickness, and we have to put it in terms of 9 by 10, something like what, x by 10 millimeter, all right. So, if I compare it with x by 10 millimeter, what is the value of x? Well, x will be equal to 9, but if I put 2 places after decimal, the value of x comes out as 9.00. Well, with that we have completed the solutions. in fact, discussion of all the questions of this paper. I hope you like the solution, you enjoyed these solutions. Thanks for watching. Take care and bye.